I sat here pondering, like, what could this be about? Like, what could you have found? Did you find some type of, I don't know, cave? Did you find a house? Did you find a treasure chest? What part of the earth was this in? Was this on some type of coastline? Did the pirates bury a treasure and you found a massive, huge discovery underground? I have no idea. I'm intrigued. This is a suggestion via a donation, guys. Name of the title is, name of the video is Massive Neighborhood Sinkhole Leads to Huge Discovery Underground. Bro, I hope they found pirate treasure. But all right, let's go. Let's check it out.
When Albert Wrights went out to mow his lawn, the last thing he expected was that the ground would cave beneath him.
Okay.
It turns out Albert and the rest of his neighbors were living on top of a sinkhole.
Wait, guys.
It turns
that is a, bro, dare I say, a cover collapse sinkhole, guys. It could be a dissolution sinkhole, but I'm gonna go ahead and guess cover collapse. Like, based off of how it looks, at least, guys. I'm guessing it rains a whole lot, and this may be an area where there's a unnecessary amount of soluble bedrock, guys. So either limestone, salt, gypsum, one of the three. I'm gonna go ahead and guess, guys, based off the color of the earth, also a little bit, guys. All right, and basically what these things are is that it's a depression or like a erosion of dirt, soil, or even bedrock, guys. That's what this is. That's all this is. Is it scary? Oh yeah, I would never want any of you guys to be involved in this stuff. That's crazy. That's scary. But all right, let's get it.
Turns out Albert and the rest of his neighbors were living on top of a sinkhole. Even more surprising was what the hole lead to underground. But before we start, make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories.
Okay.
It was a day like any other in Black Hawk, South Dakota. Resident Albert Wrights was out mowing his lawn like he had so many times before. Then something happened that changed everything. The man felt something strange underfoot. The 56-year-old man carefully turned around to see what could be going on. When Albert turned around, he could hardly believe his eyes. Only a foot behind him was the beginning of a giant sinkhole that had caved out of nowhere. The man admitting to being terrified in that moment. What does one do when their property collapses into a sinkhole? What Albert did was bolt to the neighbor's house.
And the problem is, I'm not sure you can really do much about this. You can't like fill it in. Well, I guess you could fill it in, but I think just by filling it in, you then start to run into the elusive third type of sinkhole, which is the cover subsistence sinkhole, right? And basically all that's going to do is fill in the blanks, right? So you're basically putting a Band-Aid on something terrible. So by pouring in brand new soil, that soil then is going to drop into whatever bigger hole or cavern is beneath it, very slowly causing a cover subsistence sinkhole. You're not fixing the issue, and I'm not sure that there's going to really be a solid fix to this issue. I think you just, you're going to have a bad, sale of this property, bro. It's going to be honest. This is going to be a bad one, and you're going to have to list this. You're going to have to tell the next owner, hey, listen, there's a sinkhole here, right? And it's going to be a cover subsistence sinkhole going forward into the future. It may last for maybe 50 years. It's going to happen again. It is, right? Unless you're in a state where you don't have to kind of warn the new buyer that this is a thing, right? It could be, but all right, let's get it. But again, I'm guessing either limestone or gypsum, but I'm kind of leaning more towards gypsum because of the region.
On the door of John Trudeau, who had also been experiencing some unusual happenings. John had already suspected something was amiss that morning because the faucet had suddenly stopped working. Albert's story was enough to make this an official emergency. John's wife hurriedly called 911. As it turns out, they weren't the only neighbors impacted.
Okay.
When the authorities arrived, they moved quickly to get everyone to safety. This meant evaluating the sinkhole and quickly moving out people who were within an unsafe range. That's when they discovered that the sinkhole near Albert's home wasn't the only one. Another sinkhole appeared right across the street. Right away, 6 families were evacuated. That number would double once the experts determined the cause of the sinkholes. But finding that answer didn't require officers, it required cavers. When caver Adam Weaver heard about what had happened to the neighborhood, he volunteered to check it out. Adam is a part of Paha Sapa.
Of course he did. If I was a caver, if I enjoyed the concept of spelunking, then I probably would have done it also. I've been like, listen, this is special. This is unique. I'll be the first one into this cave. I love it. I'm telling you, this, you didn't even listen. That's why he volunteered. Money? Who needs money? This is an experience. I would have done the same thing, bro. But let's get it.
A grotto, a subchapter of the National Speleological Society, aka people who study caves. When he arrived with his team, they soon discovered that they were in over their heads. When Adam and the rest of the Paha Sapa Grotto team inched their way into the sinkhole, they quickly realized that it wasn't at all what they'd expected.
Yeah, it's a cave.
They came to find out that hole led to an abandoned gypsum mine. The mine was more than 600 feet long and still had drilling holes and mining gear in it. Even though Adam knew that there was a lot of gypsum in the area, it never dawned on him that there might be an abandoned mine down there. It probably escaped his awareness because the mine was decades old. It had first opened in the 1920s and it closed 3 decades later. Still, there remained...
Okay, we found the issue. We found the issue here, guys. All right, so they did not most likely make that mine structurally sound enough. Or they dug way too close to the overall outside shell into the soil itself. And I'm going to go ahead and guess also. This was silly. Never mind. I'm not going to go ahead and guess. This is craziness, guys. And so obviously it rains probably a whole lot there. This is rainwater erosion oriented completely. That's what this is, guys. So rainwater itself has the ability to kind of erode soil anyway, if it kind of has the ability to pool, right? Maybe there are monsoons in the area. Maybe there was a flood in the area recently. This is the reason why so many neighbors are now being affected at the same exact time. Think about this here. Rainwater specifically has a overall pH of 5.6 or 7, somewhere in that range. The water that's coming out of your faucet, so you're watering the lawn, is about 7. It's not really going to erode at the same rate. You can drink water. It's drinkable. Rainwater, right? It's drinkable, but I don't think it's suggested. But it'll rot your teeth, basically. It's similar to consuming watermelon all day for the rest of your life. It's going to basically destroy your teeth. That's about the same pH that comes from rainwater. It's due to the carbonic acid inside the rainwater that's actually causing most likely a lot of this erosion, guys. But
old items such as a mining handcart. They also found bones, which Adam's wife, a paleontologist, confirmed belonged to a calf. Even though Adam is the vice president of the National Speleological Society, he was hesitant to continue exploring once he realized it was a mine.
Right,
it's time to go. The Paha Sapa Grotto carefully made their way further into the mine.
Yeah, guys, there are tool marks everywhere. Yeah, it's absolutely a mine, sir. And look at the cave-in of this mine here, right? This is kind of what I was pointing out here. When they were like picking off the gypsum, let's say, right? I think that they left the gypsum so thin that the soil, the earth itself, pushed through that, and then it started causing somewhat of a subsidence. That's what this was, bro. Okay, it's a cover subsidence sinkhole. Yeah, the earth was coming in and then pulling the earth down into some type of cavern. Okay.
Making incredible discoveries along the way. They could still see the old railcar tracks that were used when the mine was still operable. As interesting as all of the findings the team was making were, they were also items to be expected in an abandoned mine. Old tools, animal remains, deteriorating wood. Then they spotted something that made everyone stop in their tracks. Okay. There was a car hanging down from the top of the mine. It was wedged between rocks and appeared to have fallen into a hole from the surface. However, this wasn't a newer car. The vehicle was actually a 1954 Ford Crestline Sunliner. The group was amazed to see such a thing in the mine and started speculating about what happened. By everyday standards, the car looks like it came out of a junkyard. Still, Adam notes that it's in super good shape given what it's been through. That brings up the question, what exactly has the vehicle been through? The team conjured up 2 possibilities regarding how the Ford got there. The first is that the car fell into the mine after it had closed due to a sinkhole. The second is that it had been there the whole time. It could have belonged to one of the workers and ended up getting trapped in the mine. The Ford's origin story will likely remain a mystery since Adam thinks it probably won't ever come out.
if it won't ever come out, it probably fell in through another sinkhole. I'm telling you, probably one that wasn't recorded or reported at all, guys, most likely.
Finding the 1954 Ford Crestline Sunliner was a big surprise for the entire group. Adam told Haggerty that the experience was amazing. Even more amazing, though, was what they found next.
Okay.
As though one vehicle wasn't jarring enough, the team ended up stumbling upon another one. Adam confirmed that there was also a truck in the mine, adding that it was even older than the car. As incredible as the group's findings were, they had to get down to business and accomplish what they went there to do.
Okay.
Map the mine. They measured 2,300 linear feet of passages, and that's just where they were able to reach. There were still other tunnels that had collapsed or flooded, and therefore couldn't be mapped. They also found some tunnels to be upwards of 40 feet wide. The ceilings ranged from 12 to 30 feet tall. That's where Doug Huntrods came in, the emergency manager for Meade County, where Blackhawk is located. At a press conference, Doug revealed that the Dakota Plaster Company had owned the mine. This makes perfect sense considering that gypsum is commonly used in plaster.
Right.
Additionally,
So I'm guessing they got sued if they still exist? Maybe? Potentially? I'm sure there's some type of like limitation for this here. But
Rapid City Journal found in their archives that they'd covered the Dakota Plaster Plant opening back in 1910. As fascinating as the gypsum mine is, the finding is bittersweet for those whose homes are now at risk due to safety hazards. A total of 12 families were displaced due to the sinkholes, totaling between 30 and 35 individuals. John Trudeau, the neighbor who Albert Wrights ran to when his lawn caved in, brought up a question that many of the neighbors are likely pondering.
Okay.
Did the developers know and turn a blind eye? The question of who is responsible is especially crucial since insurance companies are refusing to cover the damage or to pay for the cost of the lost home.
Right.
Both John and Albert reported that this was the case for their insurance companies, who simply told them that their policies don't cover underground sinkholes. As a result, many of the displaced families have turned to GoFundMe to try and...
But I knew that was coming. 100% I knew that was coming. And I'm sorry to say, guys, they knew. They knew what this was, right? I'm almost positive that the people who built that subdivision knew most likely what this was. Specifically, if they built, if they have basements underground, guys, I don't know. I feel weird about it because that hole was not that, like, in order to get to the actual, like, bedrock, I don't know, guys. It was really, it wasn't that deep is what I'm trying to say here, guys. It wasn't that deep. I'm trying to be nice here to the people, to the company at least. But I'm sorry to tell you, I would be looking for some type of retribution, guys, in terms of like monetary retribution for the fact that your company, I don't care, 100 years ago, you did this? Oh, okay, I want money. Okay, because obviously I can't live here anymore. I have to throw my whole house away. Imagine, throw my whole house away that most likely I'm still paying on. How dare you? And the insurance wasn't going to pay for it. We knew that was coming, bro. Right? We knew that was coming. They're going to look for any excuse for you to keep paying them and for them not to pay you. That's how that works, bro. That's the law. I'm telling you. I was there. I wrote it. I don't know. I didn't do that. Let's get it.
And raise money to at least help make ends meet for the time being. However, these discouraged residents have still included county officials in their lawsuit. That's because public records indicate the Meade County Planning Board knew of the mine's existence when they approved the neighborhood development. The lawsuit is also aimed at the state, real estate agents, and developers, all of whom should have been made aware of the dangers. The mine not only posed a risk for the neighborhood, but also for a nearby interstate. As a result, engineers had to inspect I-90 to ensure that there wasn't threat of sinkholes near the highway. After inspection...
let me guess, ground-penetrating radar? Is that what you used? So you knew it was there. You knew there was a cavern there. You knew that. Okay. I have no idea the type of weather that they get there, but if there was rain and then you use some type of ground penetrating radar, guys, I am no geologist here, all right? I would have asked. There would have been questions. Listen, this is why people don't like selling me things. I ask too many questions. I'm telling you. You know, but all right, let's get it.
1,500 feet of the road and 60 feet underneath, the experts confirmed that the road is safe from the underground mine.
Oh. Good.
I'm
glad the road is, but not the, $400,000 house. That's some regular citizen has to. you know, 35 people displaced. You know, but listen, it's fine. Hey, whatever, right? Life. That's how that works, right? Government entity, right? A faceless government entity. But all right, listen. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.